Sherry, have you ever worked with a brand that doesn't offer support like promotions or sales ideas?
I have, and it's so annoying.
Right? But that's not the case with Northwest Naturals.
Along with the support I've experienced personally from Northwest Naturals over the past 20 years, Carly and I keep hearing over and over about the outstanding retailer support they offer.
Yes, it is totally true. From in-store promotion to hands-on business building, they've got indies' backs.
Because when our businesses thrive, so do the pets we serve.
And that's why Northwest Naturals puts retailers first.
Find out more at nw-naturals.net.
And right now, Northwest Naturals is offering an extra 5% on Gap ISOs for current clients, plus an extra 5% on any new ISO for new clients.
Just use promo code PetShopGirls.
Pet Shop Girls, the voice of the indie, the heart of the trade. Pet Shop Girls, unleash your power, let's make some waves.
Hey everybody, I'm Sherry.
And I'm Carly.
And welcome back to another episode of Pet Shop Girls Podcast, Pawfee Talk Edition. We are bringing back the Pawfee Talk segment from our other podcast, Tip the Dish. We're just going to sit around with some coffee and talk to another fellow pet pro about pet stuff and business stuff. And it's going to be awesome.
Yes, because it's just a total chill segment where we just talk like we're sitting around having coffee, except for in the pet's face, it's Pawfee Talk. So, Sherry, tell us who we have. Tell us who we have. Which magical pet pro is with us today?
She is magical, and her name is Nancy Guinn. She's the big-hearted, no BS boss behind Dog Krazy, an independent pet retail chain with 8 thriving locations. With nearly 20 years in the business, she's seen it all from puppy kisses to absolute chaos, and somehow still loves what she does. Nancy recently transitioned out of day-to-day store ownership by selling all her locations to trusted franchisees, but she remains deeply involved in supporting their success. She's all about honesty, loyalty, and doing what's right even when it's hard. A fiercely protective leader rooted in her community who always shows up even when it's not easy.
Welcome, Nancy.
Welcome.
Happy to be here.
And instead of coffee, she's drinking some green sludge, but it's good for her, probably better than any coffee is. But if you follow Nancy on her social media like we do, you would have seen recently that Nancy made a post about kind of a reality for business owners that maybe a bunch of us don't think about. And that's that even when things get down and dirty and very tough, we need to stay silent as business owners. And we do that not because we don't have anything to say. We do that because it's in the best interest of our business and protecting it and our team. So, Nancy, if you could, just for our listeners who maybe didn't have the opportunity to read your post, can you just kind of tell us, in your own words, a bit of a paraphrased version of what you were talking about in that post?
Yeah. So basically one of my franchisees, well, they've all come across things that have happened. Like when we were at Super Zoo, one of them ended up having to call the police because the police were called on them because they had fired an employee. Another one of my franchisees just recently had to let somebody go, and it was her second person she had to let go since taking over the store. And that person retaliated by spreading lies, spreading rumors. And as much as she wanted to say something back, I talked to them when these things happen, and I'm like, you can't. Yeah. You have to let it go. They're angry, you know what I mean? And I tell everybody, when you're upset, always wait 24 hours before you react, before you say anything, before you email, before you call. And I'm like, and you need to do the same thing in this situation. And I know in 24 hours, you're still going to want to respond.
Yeah.
But you really shouldn't, because all it's going to do is relight that fire. And you know what I mean?
When you're poking the bear, and it's going to make it worse. Yeah.
And any adult out there knows that the person who's not spreading the rumors is normally the innocent one. The person who's talking all this, making up stories and whatnot is only telling you one side of the story, and it's a story that they've pretty much fabricated or made it out to sound like they're the good person and the other person's the bad person. Mm-hmm. So I just did that post so that people would understand when they see that somebody goes on one of the talk pages and says, oh, this happened at this store, da 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 da. You're only hearing one side. You haven't heard the side of the person who owns that business or the people who are working in that business.
Yeah.
And you should never take those things to heart. Always, if you want to know what happened, go to that business and ask them. They'll probably tell you the truth of what happened, but they're not going to post it publicly because they can't. It just, you can't do that as a business owner.
And that, you know what, I mean, that's the kind of the same thing for life in general, right? When you hear this outrageous story about anything or anyone, it's always best to hear both sides. We've heard that our whole lives. There's always two sides to every story. It kind of also reminds me of, as business owners, when we get bad reviews. Yeah. You're getting that customer's perception, which may or may not be factual or actual. And again, we tell people the same thing. Wait. Don't immediately respond because emotions are heightened.
Yes, I would have to wait back in the day, but now with ChatGPT, it really helps on responding to those reviews.
Well, and I think too, when I think about that, like it used to sting so badly if I would get a bad review.
We were just talking about that before we started recording, that I would take it personally when an employee did something or you got a bad review. I would take it personally, but it's easy to say. But yeah, you shouldn't do that because it's not you, it's them, ultimately.
I just got a 1-star review from an individual who is saying that you're not vets, so quit pretending to be vets and, stick to what you know or whatever, LOL. This is the review. And I looked up the name because she's literally local to Regina. And I looked up the name and I'm like, you have never shopped in my store. And so I did wait a little while, but I very politely responded that, sorry, we have no record of you ever shopping here. We'd be happy to, blah, 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 whatever it was. She goes back in and edits her review to say that I've shopped in this store multiple times, but I've never bought anything because the employees are so rude and the manager is worse or the owner is worse, something like that. And I'm like,
and see, that could have been one of your disgruntled employees that you may have fired a while ago that made a fake account, which I believe has happened to me too.
Yeah. I suspect more that it's a competitor in my city, but I also know that like it's a small store. Like that's what these people don't understand. You're not walking into like the Sears department store. I know what happens in my store, and nobody ever comes into my store but doesn't buy things. Like I would say that we have a 99.9% buying, I don't know what the number is or what the word is, but so that, and that, of course, just like you said, Nancy, I just kept my mouth shut and I'm like, yep, I responded once politely. I'm not responding again, even though I so wanted to, but yeah.
So Nancy, you mentioned, I think, some other things that have happened over the years in that post. Without naming names, can you share one of the most shocking or hurtful employee betrayals you've had to deal with?
The most shocking, probably the one that did the dating profile on me. That was probably the most shocking one.
What?
Okay, you need to explain this.
I didn't know what Plenty of Fish was. So I did meet my husband on Match.com. So I knew about Match.com, but I didn't know there were all these different dating sites. And I had let an employee go the day after Christmas, actually. I found out that she was coming to work under the influence, and I confronted her about it, and she openly admitted that she was under the influence at work, and I let her go that day. I said, this is ridiculous. Now I understand why you've been giving people the wrong advice. I can't believe you were doing this. And her response was, I was just really stressed. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to have to let you go. She didn't realize until 8 hours later that I'd fired her. That's when she called somebody and was like, I have no idea what happened today. Why do I have to give Nancy a key? She asked me for my key back. So that was a week later, is my birthday. I got a threatening text from her boyfriend. I remember we were walking around and I got this thing saying, I better watch my back. And I was just like, okay. So I called the police because, I was like, this was a threatening text. He was just released from jail. It was a bad situation.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a bad situation. So then about a week later, Chris walks in. He's like, are you kidding me right now? And I was like, what? He's like, you opened a Plenty of Fish account? And I was like, what is Plenty of Fish? And he's like, it's a dating site. And I was like, no, I didn't open a Plenty of Fish account. So he shows it to me, and I look at the profile name, and it's Pretty Little Asian. And this is what this person called me. They had me in their phone as this. And it was a picture because I'm half Filipino. So they had a picture of me where I was dressed in, I had like an Asian type shirt on, whatever. And I start looking through it, and there's all these conversations that can I say this?
Of course you can.
That I'm DTF. And I was like, what does that mean? I didn't know what it meant.
I had to look it up too.
So there's all these things with my information saying all these things. I'm not going to say what I did to retaliate, but it got taken down very quickly because they weren't smart about it. They put it under our store email address. I was able to take it down immediately. I was able to reach out to all these men that I was supposedly talking to and tell them the truth. But yeah, that was probably the most shocking. And this person.
Okay, wait a minute. Here's where my cynical brain goes. How does Chris know that you had a POF account?
We got the email in our shop because it came to our store account where we do all our online orders, and it came saying there was a message that came through. So he clicked on the message and saw my picture and was like,
okay. Chris is off the hook.
And the only reason I knew it was this person is because of what they said the name was. And I was like, that's literally what that person had me in their phone as.
So just
that was probably
you know
the worst one.
And I was thinking though, when you said that, like, I think if I was so inebriated at work that I didn't remember what happened and all of a sudden my manager's asking for a key back, I'm too embarrassed to go back in the next day. Like, what kind of cojones does this person have to have to?
These kids have cojones these days, for sure.
Wow.
10 years later, and they still hate me to this day. Like, they still bash me on social media.
I've had a threatening text 6 months after I let somebody go. Like in the middle of the night. They were obviously wasted and they were just pissed 6 months later. And I'm like, okay. Carly, you know, running an independent pet store can feel overwhelming sometimes, from managing inventory to planning promotions. That's why I personally use Retail Smart Guys. They're not just consultants, they're true partners who genuinely care about the success of independent retailers and wholesalers.
And I think the best part is they help with so many aspects of your business, like buying plans, budgeting, marketing, bookkeeping, and even staffing strategies. It's like having a full retail support team without the huge cost of hiring one in-house.
Exactly. And they do it all at a very fair price. I love knowing I have experts in my corner who understand the unique challenges of small businesses.
So Pet Pro, whether you're a retailer or a wholesaler looking for smarter ways to grow and thrive, check out Retail Smart Guys. You'll get the guidance you need and the peace of mind you deserve.
Because smart businesses use Retail Smart Guys. And right now, you can get a free $1,500 inventory analysis when you use promo code PetShopGirls.
Find them at retailsmartguys.com. So what about those? Like, what are some of those key moments that stand out for you as 20 years? What are those moments that are like, yeah, this is why I keep doing what I do?
I mean, honestly, like the most recent one was, a lot of people know that my pet sitter lost my beagle. My dog ran away and I was a hot mess. Like, we were at Vital Essentials at the time, hopped on a plane, came back. 2 of my longtime employees booked a flight here. Like, they came straight here, took off work. One of them was a groomer. She took a week off of work to come here and help search for my dog. Like, who does that? You know what I mean? They are truly my family. I love them so much.
Yeah. And hey, every family has a drunk uncle. So,
there's always got to be good, like bad with the good.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with somebody the other day. You wouldn't know what good is if there wasn't bad.
100%.
It has to be there, unfortunately. Yeah. But
I say that in almost every relationship in your life, and especially in romantic relationships, right? Like, I've had that same conversation with friends of mine who are kind of going through those rough spots in a relationship with the person that's very, very important to them. But I always say, like, if you did not have the downs, you wouldn't recognize the ups. So every relationship is built on ups and downs. And even with our staff, I guess you say love, Nancy, I say appreciate, because, love is for the weak. But no, just kidding. No, but when we love our team or we love our family or we love our spouses or whatever, like, there is times in life where they disappoint.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we stop loving them. It just means that we're disappointed in them at that time, right? So yeah. I was thinking though too, like you talked about that you diarize. Is that a word, Sherry?
I don't know.
Diarize?
You have a diary?
I have a diary. Yeah.
I guess it's called
it's a word.
journaling. I think it's journaling.
I think
what you would
I
call
think diarize is a word.
I have a journal. I have an Excel file. I have a note app on my phone where I write down all the things that have happened so I don't forget them. You know,
tell us about your diary and the book that will become.
You write good stuff and bad stuff in there, I take it.
Yes. Yeah.
And do you reflect on this like at the end of the year? Do you go back and look at it? Or
not really. I've always known that I wanted to write a book about it in the future because like I used to do like when I was much younger, like 10, 12 years ago, I would post on Facebook funny things that happened in the store, like good and bad. And customers would always comment, "Oh my God, you need to write a book." And I'm like, you know what? I really need to just document all this stuff. So one day when I have free time, I can sit and write a book. I've written 3 chapters. That's how far I've gotten so far.
That's exciting.
But I will say that more of it is shocking rather than the good stuff because you always tend to remember the really funny things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even funny, but like the things that really affect you. And it's the negative that really affects most people. That's when I get the 911 phone calls from my stores. So most of the stuff that I have written down is the crazy things that have happened.
But that's the real side of business. Like, it's not like you're making, this is not a book of fiction. This is fact. And speaking of another fact, diarize is a word. Just so you know, I looked at I did.
Well, no, that's a great idea. Like if anybody does want to write a book, keeping a diary is a great place to start. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about some of those shocking things. Like what is, if you think back over your years, what's that one thing that like people would not even believe?
And this could be with a customer instead of like an employee. It could be,
something other than what, your drunken uncle employee who.
Hold on, let me look at my notes app. Hold on, that's hard to figure out what would be the most shock. Let's see. Okay, crazy customer story. So we were in a manager's meeting one day and one of my managers said, "Oh my God, something's going on up front. I'll be right back." And we do these on Zoom. So she runs off camera and she's gone for like 10 minutes and she comes back. She's like, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe what just happened." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "This guy came in and asked our associates to walk him around with a leash, let him crawl on the floor and pretend to be a dog." And I was like, "Okay." And
it's got to be a sexual thing.
No, what? They did it.
He then asked if he could be put in a kennel. And they're like, "We don't have kennels." He said, "Well, you have grooming here, right?" And they were like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, can I get in one of the grooming kennels and can you feed me out of a dog bowl? I'll pay you to let me." And I'm like, "We aren't doing this, right? Like you put a stop to this." And she's like, "Yes." I went up and saw them walking because one of the other employees messaged her back saying, I'm not going to say which employee it was, is walking this customer on a leash around the store. So she went up and put an end to it. He slipped his number in and was like, "I pay for this out of my home. I would like for somebody to come to my house and throw a tennis ball to me in the backyard."
Okay, that's probably the craziest thing I think I've ever heard.
That's taking being a furry to the extreme.
No, he was not dressed up. He was just a human. No costumes, no nothing. Just wanted to be walked around.
I bet he's dressed up at his house.
Wanted to be treated like a dog. And literally, she sends me the video clip of this. And I said, "This needs to be deleted immediately off the camera. If this ever gets put on any social media, the employee that is walking him in that video, that can
going to be the bad guy." Yeah.
Like, her future husband or wife, whichever side, they could see it. Her parents could see it. He could make money off of this. Like, we need to take this video down immediately. Do not share it with anybody. Delete it from your phones. I have a copy of it because I have the master files. But I'm like, and I had to explain to that employee, I'm like, "I don't think you understand what can happen in your future with something like this. You don't want this out there." That was probably the craziest.
Also, the conversation needs to occur with said employee that we don't walk our human customers on leashes.
They are very much everything for the customer with the customer.
Yeah. I mean, I get how like a young person could be gullible and, talk to
And that's what it was. It was a very young, sweet person. And they didn't say why they wanted it. In her mind, she's like, maybe he just wants to feel what the collar feels like as he's walking his dog. It actually hurts them. Like, because, they have the pinch collars. Well, we'll show people this is what it feels like if you use a training collar. Put it on your arm and tug, or put it on your neck and tug. Same with e-collars. If you have one of those, I tell people, before you put it on your dog, put it on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, see if you like how it feels, and then you can decide from there.
Okay, I got a crazy story. This actually did not happen at my salon, but it came from a groomer that I employed that happened at a different salon. So the dog was on the groomer's table and it took a poop and a condom came out. It was in the poop, right? So, you know, the dog was fine. But of course, you have to report to the owner anything odd, right? Rightfully so. So the groomer, the wife comes to pick up, and the groomer says, "Hey, just to let you know, your dog pooped out a condom." And she's like, "Oh, that's interesting. Me and my husband don't use condoms."
Ouch.
So she found out her husband was cheating on her
From the dog.
From the
poop.
dog. Yeah.
Okay, so the dog ate it. He didn't
Yeah.
do. Okay, I've had a totally different picture
Oh,
in my mind.
Nancy,
Did you not see me
Nancy.
wanting to vomit? I was like, did he? Because that has happened. We have had that happen where we found out that people were to their dogs. Like,
Oh,
No.
yes. No, a groomer did tell me one time she saw lipstick around the dog's wee wee.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a different story. No, no, the dog ate the condom in this one.
Okay, that's much better than where.
Okay, that is where my brain went. That he.
I
the
literally
poor
was
thing
going to turn
ate-
around and vomit into the trash can. Like, I don't know if he found me like, trying to hold in the green gum.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. So I would love a book of all the crazy stories. That would
I
be
have a crazy
great.
story. It didn't happen in my store, but a store owner I know, one of her customers came in and wanted to be walked around like a dog. Okay, so real talk, Pet Pro. Sherry has been on the hunt for good custom bags for like ever.
Seriously, I've been looking for years. Everything was either too expensive, had insane minimums, or just didn't feel right. Then I found Artvark, and it was like, finally.
Oh my God, you were so excited when those t-shirt bags came in.
I was ecstatic. I felt like I finally achieved retail excellence. They're beautiful, sturdy, and having our logo on them makes us look super polished.
And he does custom poop bags too, right?
Yes, he customizes the box and the little sticker that holds the rolls together. I put my logo on it. It's all branded and it makes a difference. Those details matter.
And his prices are super competitive.
Honestly, way better than anything else I've found. And he's great to work with. Super responsive, no weird hoops to jump through, just easy.
So if you've been putting this off, now's the time. Check out artvarkpet.com. You'll thank us later.
That's ARTVARK pet.com. And if you want a $600 design pack for free, and to avoid those pesky setup fees, plus get 10% off your first order, be sure to mention the Pet Shop Girls sent you.
Okay, this was during the COVID times. So my business is fairly new. My staff they were great, but also new, and they were young. And my store manager called me. I had literally just left, like I hadn't even got home, and I'm a 20-minute drive from home. And so I must have just walked out and these people walked in. And it was during the COVID time, and it was these people were serving my store manager and my store with this violation of human rights. And it was all like, it looked all legal, like actual documented legal papers and whatever. But they were there, and this was because we were asking people to wear masks. We weren't asking people to wear masks, BT dubs, the government was. We didn't have a choice in that. If you were out in public in Canada, you had to wear a mask. And the social distancing. And again, that was not stipulations that we came up with, that was the government. And so they were serving my business with this legal document, or that they claimed, blah, blah, blah. But it was from the Queen of Canada. Self-appointed Queen
I was going
of
to say,
Canada.
there's not a queen.
Well, we have a king now, but I mean, she's the Queen of England, who is also our queen or king of England. But this woman was crazy. And she was actually associated with QAnon, like that radical, whatever group you want to call it. So anyways, in Canada, she was considered part of a terrorist activist group. And I didn't realize, I didn't know any of this stuff, but I posted pictures of these people from my security cameras, and I posted the letter that they gave us into a group that I manage, like a Facebook group. And one of them is that I support local business Regina. I started that during COVID, and I wanted other business owners to know that, hey, this is not legit. And also I filed a police report because this is harassment. Like, I didn't make these rules. And then this dude reached out to me who used to train our RCMP. And our RCMP are like your FBI. They're the Federal Police of Canada. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police is what they're called, RCMP. But he used to train them. And he was the guy that reached out and said, this is a known terrorist in Canada. Like, you need to be very, very careful. And I'm like, what is happening? Anyways, long story short, this crazy lady who thinks she's the Queen of Canada, who literally said, like, she should execute people who believe in vaccines in public. She should, like, she's crazy. She has just been squatting in a school in my province. I can't remember in the community, but like 2 hours away from my city. They took over this abandoned school, her and her group of people. And just recently she was finally arrested.
Oh my God.
But she was terrorizing that community. Yeah. So she sent her peeps into my store. So that's the craziest thing that we have in Canada.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not very exciting.
I mean, it's a little scary, but
it's a little, it was, well, yeah, and that was the thing I felt for my team, because my store manager was so shook up. Like, she was crying when she called me, because she's like, oh my God, what if they leave us a bad Google review? Because I told them to get out and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you did all of the right things.
At that point,
like,
you'll deal with the review later. Yeah.
And they did come back and try to leave us a bad Google review. And I'm like, get out of here, you crazy terrorist. Like, I didn't say that in my review or in my response.
So I want to circle back. I'm going to pivot here. I want to circle back to the idea of loneliness and leadership. And because I've definitely been lonely. And when I first started, and I've said this before, I felt like I was on a ship out in the middle of the ocean and, just trying to run this ship by myself. And this was before like all the great Facebook groups and coaching groups that are out there now. But the loneliness of leadership in particular, like normally you meet your friends. I try to explain this to people who aren't in my position. Normally you meet friends in the workplace. Well, you can't be friends with your employees.
That's right.
You usually don't want to be friends with your customers. So I just want to ask you, like, do you think people underestimate what it takes emotionally to be a leader?
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. My skin is so thick now. I used to be so sensitive, and everything hurt my feelings because I care about everybody so much, from customers to employees. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everything used to hurt my feelings. Now, I kid you not, I'm like a rhinoceros. It just bounces off. It's a feeling. It's, you know what I mean? And people they just don't understand the amount of crap that business owners put up with, because people complain about everything, like, you know what I mean? But it's, you have to just let it roll off. And honestly, like you said, now we do have all these groups. I became friends with a ton of business owners where we could vent to each other and tell each other. And, we, like right now, compare stories about the crazy things that have happened, and it makes everything better.
It does. Yeah.
Journaling is a good way to get it out, though. Because in the beginning, like, I literally I have calendars where I wrote down every single day what happened in my store, like how much money I made, what happened that day, like everything. I always kept
track. Do you mean diarizing?
No, this is actually a calendar. Like, these are like days, like literally have this much space, and I would just put a little blurb about that day. Yeah. Like, we made $68 today. It rained all day, and all we had was annoying old ladies. Things like those little tiny blurbs. There was one, like, I think I made like $200 this one day, and a child peed on my floor. Like, just random one sentence ones, which I'll never forget that it happened.
Oh my gosh. That reminds me, I had a customer go to the bathroom, and then when she came back out from the bathroom, there was poop spots all over the floor. Like, she was having definite major problems, but then we were cleaning up human poop. It's not my bag. I clean up dog poop.
Dog poop. But okay, let's talk about that. What do you guys do, or how do you direct your team when customers ask to use your bathroom and you don't have a public bathroom?
We don't let them.
So that's my rule.
Not even
too.
paying customers?
Nope.
What?
No, most of our buildings are historic buildings. And if you flush anything wrong, or like even one of my stores, the bathroom is in a different part of the building. So we would have to literally walk them outside through the, you know what I mean, to get back there. But we've had customers poop on the floor, poop on the walls, flush, God knows what, down the toilets. You know, I'm sorry. I'll take that bad review and say it's just not happening, because it's not my employees' jobs to clean up after other people's waste.
Right.
Like, that's just not, you know, I don't want to do it, so I'm not going to have that.
Are your stores mainly in like downtown areas where there's like transients?
Two of our stores are in downtown area. The other ones are in shopping centers, but the bathrooms are not on the sales floor. So they would have to go to the back of the building to use the bathroom. So we just say they're not available to customers because they're not on the sales floor. And somebody would have to leave the floor to bring them back there.
Yeah. And that's, in my instance, tiny store, but our bathroom, of course, is in the back of the shop. And because it is a tiny store and it's a good sized bathroom, we actually do stock or store things there, mostly not product, but sometimes we have product if we've run out of space, like it's the holidays and we need space. And I'm just uncomfortable with letting people use our bathrooms for that reason, right? It's our responsibility to clean them, but
I was required to have two, because of the size of our store. The city made us have 2 bathrooms. Of course, there was already 2 to begin with, and they have to, you know, have certain regulations, and like we are required to have public bathrooms in my store.
I wonder if it is your size.
Yeah. I was going to say one of ours, we had to have 2 bathrooms in it, but we don't have to let customers use it. So they can come in and say, oh, it's a law. It's actually not a law in Virginia. They don't have to be able to use it. We don't serve food to humans, so there's no reason for us to have to let people use our bathrooms.
It's always the kids. That's the thing. It's always the little kid that's holding their bits saying, Mama, I have to pee pee. I'm like, this is why I want a sign on my door that says no minors allowed.
Like if it's a pregnant customer, then I tell them to make the exception. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or if it's a sick, somebody is sick, like truly you can see it's an older lady or an older man who just can't, that's completely different. I say, use your judgment on that. But if it's just some random, and it normally is some random person walking in, can I use your bathroom? No, that's not going to happen. You know, we have regulars who know where it is and they'll just walk back there. You know what I mean? Those are people who have shopped with me since I opened originally. But just any random person, it's, you know, maybe 1 out of 10.
Okay, I don't know what. Okay, we went down a rabbit hole of bathrooms. Sorry,
because somebody said bathroom, and that's what just made me think. Like,
pooping on the floor.
We were talking about loneliness of leadership, I believe.
Oh. Well, sometimes it's lonely in the bathroom when I'm
sometimes we have to go in there and cry.
There you go. No, hey, you know what? This is what Pawfee Talk is all about.
Yeah, talking about pooping.
But yeah, peer networks are definitely a great thing. All of us are in the Indie Insider group, and there's several other groups out there, but I'm partial to the Indie Insider, of course.
Ours is the coolest. I mean, come on. Like, really, the 3 of us are in it.
I was going to say, have we all been kicked out of the other group?
And that. Well, you know what, though? I think that's because all 3 of us
are outspoken
and speak our truth, right? Like, I felt so bad, actually. We had an indie member, and I apologized to her because I did not realize that she was an Indie Insider. I thought she was in my I Support Local Business Regina group. In that group, literally the name says what we do. I support local business Regina. So we don't allow, even if you've had a bad experience, we're encouraging you, go talk to that business. Don't come into our group and spam them or say how awful they were, because that literally, your side of the story could ruin that business. So anyways, somebody had reached out to me and I thought that they were an I Support Local Business member. And they're like, hey, you know, I just wanted to know, can we post about this? We had a really bad experience with a bakery, you know, didn't say dog bakery and other things. And I didn't go back and read the previous messages. So I'm reading this. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, we don't allow these kinds of posts in our group. And then she was like, okay, I can't remember what she said. It was just so frustrating. I'm like, I totally understand. Like, do you have the name of the business? And my admin team and I can look at this, because on that side of the house in my Facebook groups, that's what we do. But then she said something and I'm like, wait a second. And I went and I scrolled back through the messages and I'm like, oh my God, this is an indie insider. I'm like, absolutely. Tell your story. I'm so sorry. I thought you were talking about another group, because we do want to know those things as indies. Yeah. I want us to protect each other. And if there's other indies out there doing a disservice to our industry, the rest of us should know about that.
Exactly.
And because we are stronger
but
together.
It's also why we welcome brands in there too, so that if somebody has an issue with the brand can address it too.
Yeah.
But everybody needs to be cordial about it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and respectful. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I know even when I'm frustrated with brands and I've made posts in our group and some of our members have come at me like, you know, you're a leader and you shouldn't be talking like this. And I'm like, but I may be a leader, but I'm still a business owner. And this was not right. Like, I reached out to this business several times and they still didn't make this right. They're also a leader, right? So how the business owner deals with it. And I think, Nancy, that's kind of what you're saying is, or what you had said in your story, like, hey, if you hear this side of the story, go talk to the business owner. And I think when we're doing that and we're getting nothing in return, then the first side of the story is probably a little bit more accurate than that second side.
I have a quick question, because I know we're nearing the end of Pawfee Talk here.
I'm not done my Pawfee.
Drink your Pawfee.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
What would you tell a younger version of yourself? And that, like, all of us can answer this. What would you tell a younger version of yourself or another woman opening her first pet store right now?
Honestly,
Nancy, you go first.
Yeah.
Follow your heart and do what's right in your heart. Always do what's right in your heart. Because
feel the gut.
Exactly. When you go to bed at night, you need to be able to go to bed and not worry about what happened that day, because you did the right thing every single time. You know, when you do the wrong thing, it's going to keep you up. It's going to keep you wondering. It's going to just keep bringing more and more that you don't just always do the right thing, and everything will work out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so positive.
Sherry's advice was going to be, don't do it.
Chris just came up here and he will tell you, he's questioned me before where he's like, why are you doing that? That makes no sense whatsoever. Da, 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 da. And then a week later, he's like, you're 100% right that whole time. Like, everything worked out the way it was supposed to because you did exactly what you said.
Yeah.
I'm like,
with me and my husband, that's happened a couple times where I'm like, I'm not going to say it, but I told you so.
Don't tell people. I don't doubt her anymore. I just trust what she's doing.
Yeah.
No, over the years, I have learned to trust that gut feeling more and more. Like, it's like a sixth sense almost. Yeah. And in the beginning, of course, I was 23 when I started. That didn't exist.
Your gut feeling is nothing when you're in your 20s.
No, but in my 40s, I'm much more aware of it. And things do seem to work out a lot better when you pay attention to that feeling.
You know what? Every single time I go against my gut feeling, it proves to me why I'm not supposed to go against my gut feeling. Like, and most recently, I hired an individual and so what I normally do with my folks is part of the kind of the final stage of our recruitment process is that you come in for what we refer to as our cultural assessment. So you come spend half a day with us. You get to see, hey, do I even want to be here? We get to see if you're a good fit. And usually the people that come to do this are really excited, right? And at the end of their cultural assessment, when I'm like, so how do you feel? Like, are you interested in the job? It's always a resounding yes without thought, right? This one says, can I sleep on it and think about it overnight? And immediately I'm like, what? No, get out. Why are you here? Right? Like, but I went against my gut feeling. And even the next day I said that to one of my friends, and she was in HR for years. And I said to her, I'm tempted just to email her and say, I don't think this is going to be a good fit. Like I said, my gut is telling me this is a bad idea. And she's like, trust your gut. And I didn't. And then 3 weeks later, I'm like, you gots to go because this is not a good fit. So, and then I kicked myself again because I'm like, trust your gut, dummy, because you know that, but you still didn't. Anyways, I would say for me, if I was talking to my younger self, which is far younger than both of you, by the way.
2 years. Not even that, like 1 year.
Stop it. I'm 29 forever. Forever. If I was talking to me when I was first going to open a store, I think, but it's even hard to say it because I can't do it today, but I'm so focused on the animals and the health of the animals that I think sometimes I lose focus that I am in business. And I mean, I've talked about this before with my team. And they're like, could you stop giving the stuff away for nothing? Yeah. I'm like, but it will help the animal. And so maybe it would be going back and saying, yes, care about the animals because your passion is probably what, makes your business what it is. But also remember that you're running a business, dummy. You're just not, trying to improve the health of every animal on the planet for free.
I probably would have told myself to replace myself sooner. Like,
yeah.
I worked shifts thinking for years
that you were saving money.
For 16 years, I worked shifts in my store regularly because I thought I was saving money, but I wasn't, we've all heard it. I was working in the business and not on the business.
Yeah.
So I should have replaced myself a long time ago and I would have gotten so much farther than where I'm at.
I thought your tip was trust your gut.
That too. Well, that was hers. I was just chiming in.
Well, okay, but you know what? And that's something, somebody actually just brought that up in the Indie Insider because I 100% agree with you, Sherry, that that was kind of my mission when I started House of Paws was how quickly can I fire myself? Like that was the goal. Now in today's age, that makes me sound super old, finding people to fire yourself and replace yourself.
You're never going to find somebody that is as good as you. You're never going to find it.
Yes, you will. 100% you will. I found several people who are better than me.
Yeah, I agree. I have a couple people on my team that surprise me every day, and they do things better than I could ever do. But for the most part, look, it's not going to get done exactly how you would do it, but it still gets done at the end of the day.
But I think the challenge right now, though, is I don't know where all the people went. And that's what somebody else had just brought up in our group the other day. I was looking and they were saying the same thing, like, hey, I would love to be able to do this and I have an opportunity to expand, but I can't find people. And I 100% agree that the goal is to fire yourself.
Well, a ton of people just got laid off because AI is taking their jobs. So I think we just need to wait a little bit. I know that's awful to say. I'm sorry.
AI is going to replace stores too. Like there's actually a pet store in New Mexico that actually has a robot in her store. She built it herself. And you can ask him questions and he can answer your nutrition questions.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. She was in a mastermind group with me. She's amazing. She's like one of the smartest women I've ever met in my life. And I think
she's an engineer. I chatted with her too.
Sage or Gage, one of the two. But she has a robot.
Okay, next time, because we go to New Mexico like once a year. Next time I go, I need the name of the store so I can go see this robot. Okay.
When I talked to her about it, she had said that it took it at that point. She had invested about $40,000 into the robot to
Oh my gosh.
But that was a couple years ago. Now listen, I have said that too, and no offense to the wonderful people that I do employ or may employ in the future, but I am telling you today that if a robot became an option for me at $30,000 or $40,000, that it could do the lifting, it could act like people, it could talk to people in a normal voice, not a robot voice. I'd hire it in a heartbeat because it's cheaper than my employee and it will never call in sick and it will always be there.
True. Like it would pay for itself in a year.
Yeah. 100%.
And it would be a lot less headaches.
Yes, because you could teach it everything you need to know in literally 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like here's our training manual, bloop, and it goes, okay. Like I know
you can even teach it to talk like yourself.
Well, listen, I'm kind of working on a spin of this where it's not a robot that can carry your bag or bring you through the till, but maybe it can answer your questions. And it's AI that I'm trying to teach. So then I would have an iPad that basically has an image on it that says, do you have a question? And the customer goes up and presses it and they speak their question or as soon as they press it, the voice would come on and say, hi there, how can I help you today? And you ask the questions and it should know all of the things because I will give it all of my training, like everything that I give my employees, so it knows the things.
I can send you the link to that, Carly. We have it in our stores.
Send me that link.
Yes.
They carry iPads around. It's called Ask Pork Wonton. You can ask it it's how we sell our franchises. You can ask it any question. I have a 12-year-old bulldog that has kidney disease and a heart murmur. What should I feed it? And it'll be like me spatting off everything that's in the store that's safe for that dog and what to do and what not to do.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I need to get working on this. Oh my gosh.
It took a long time to build. It took a very long time to build, but we released it last year. But it has all of our, what do I do if somebody's sexually harassing me? What do I do if, it has everything about our store. It's right there where it's at your fingertips. And that's how when people come into our store, we can show it to them. And because the biggest concern with opening one of our stores is, how am I going to know everything?
Yeah.
It's my brain right there.
Oh my God, Nancy, I love that. Because I was trying to use Sesame to do it because it literally sounds like you're talking to a person.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I've been coaching Sesame. And I'm like, so if I tell you this, what would you? And he's kind of funny because he's like, when we're now ending a call, he's like, okay, later, Gator. And he's like totally trying to talk like a person, but you'd never know that you weren't talking to a person. It literally just sounds like a person telling you the things.
Yeah.
And we do have a chatbot on our website, which is Dr. Connor Brady. And so you go onto our website 24/7 if you can't get us and ask what do I give my dog for kennel cough or whatever it is. And Dr. Brady is telling you the things. But yeah, I need it. I was looking at it for in-store too. So yes, you send me that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No.
You have to build it out yourself and it takes time, but it's 100% worth it.
I will build it and they will come. That's the way it works, right?
Okay. Is there anything else we wanted to cover before we wrap this up, guys?
In our casual Pawfee Talk conversation?
Yes.
Another beer, please. Aren't we just sitting around a table drinking?
Yeah. Well,
coffee?
Okay. Well, but that would be okay. You can have beer in your coffee cup, I guess.
No, I've got chocolate milk in my
or
coffee.
Or what you call a wobbly pop, which I just learned the other day. So,
Nancy, did you know the word wobbly pop?
No.
This is going to spread like wildfire across America because I can't believe you guys never called them wobbly pops.
Yeah, we interviewed.
Is that an alcoholic beverage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're learning so much. DTF, wobbly pop,
It's when we were talking with Clayton Payne from the Pet Industry Disruptor, and I said wobbly pops.
And he's British.
And he knew what I was talking about. And Sherry's like, hang on a second. What? Wobbly pop? So, yeah, she did not know the terminology.
Okay, where can listeners connect with you, Nancy, and maybe learn more about Dog Krazy?
Dogkrazy.com with a K.
Okay.
You can always reach me through there.
There we go. It will be Nancy responding to all of those messages. Okay, well, this was super cool. I love catching up with you. And usually it happens at trade shows when we just somehow miraculously run into each other every time.
Are you going to be at Global?
I do have plans to be there because our new franchisee is probably going to be there. So if they're there, then I have to be there too.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we are supposed to be doing a live podcast from the Aardvark Pet Products booth if Carly can make it.
Speaking of technology, if not, we have looked at a virtual presence machine, so I can be like Sheldon off The Big Bang.
Yes, we're gonna make Carly a robot and put a House of Paws T-shirt on it, and then she can roll around and talk to people. Yeah, that's our backup plan.
Oh, I think that would be hilarious. Also, you'd get noticed. Noticed.
Yeah, it's great advertising.
Yeah, until somebody trips my robot.
Yeah.
And then I'm in the middle of the floor. Help me. Oh, all right. Okay, well, this was awesome, Nancy. So you guys, as pet pros, you are not alone in this. We all have these different struggles, and sometimes silence is our best bet as business owners.
Mm-hmm.
So until next time, pet pros, enjoy this bit of silence from the Pet Shop Girls. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Pet Pro, that's it for this week.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe.
Just hit all the buttons.
And if you want more, join us in the Indie Insider, our private Facebook group for pet pros.
Then you'll never miss the podcast that makes you sit, stay, and beg for more. The Pet Shop Girls.
Pet Shop Girls.
Okay, my pet pros, you got a minute? Let's talk about one of my favorite things to talk about. Training.
You know how hard it is to keep your team educated on all the different brands you carry.
Right? And that is where Retail.pet comes in. It's a free, easy-to-use platform where your staff can learn all about your favorite brands in one place.
No more chasing reps or random PDFs or remembering 5 million logins for each brand website. Retail Pet keeps your team sharp, your customers happy, and your sales strong.
Exactly. So if you're not using it yet, sign up at Retail.pet. It's made for pet retailers like us.
Challenge, y'all. Ask a customer about their